I'm teaching a workshop called Profit Breakthrough because I want to show you just that. I want to show you what it takes to create a profit breakthrough in your own life and your own business. This material is for people who are asking, how do you shatter glass income ceilings? How do you reach the salary you've always dreamed of? How do you break through to the next level? And I'm glad you're asking those questions. I hope you're determined to find the answers. My name is Lisa Jacobs and I want to welcome you here. I write, speak, and teach strategic growth strategies. My material is based around my business. My theories are for expansion, and they're tested and proven and replicated by my clients time and time again. But I love to strategize growth in every major pillar of life: relational, physical, mental, spiritual, and of course, financial, money. I've been on an empowering money journey of my own. In the early stages of my adult life, my husband and I scraped by on what's considered poverty level in the United States. Just after we started adding children to our family, we hit that poverty level, we hit our rock bottom. We went on to find stability and later comfort in our personal finances. I've gone from a stay-at-home mom to a top-earning Etsy seller, and currently I operate one of the top 8% highest-earning, most profitable websites on the internet. I'm teaching this session today to help you bring in awareness to what you're telling yourself about money and your ability to earn it. What your physical space is saying for you and how it welcomes money or else blocks it. And I'm going to jump right in and share some action steps with you today that will help you get started. Please keep this in mind though. It's not always about doing more to earn more money. And that's so important, I want to say it again. And that's a mistake that I made myself last year. It's not always about doing more in order to earn more money. In fact, and as you'll learn here, sometimes that approach backfires. Instead, this is about clearing out old beliefs and physical clutter that block opportunities. Let's jump right in to 7 steps to a financially healthier, wealthier you. So first I'm going to have you, the first step you're going to take is to take inventory of your physical space, especially your workspace, and start to declutter your area. And I'm going to repeat some information here. I've emailed it publicly, I've taught it privately, and I'm saying it again. It's that important, and that's on purpose. It's a critical step and extremely important to this material. So I want you to take a look at your workspace, wherever that's set up, whether it's a designated office or a corner of a room or a section of your basement. What's on your desk in your workspace? Is it stacks of paper, unfinished business? Is there dust everywhere? Are there little post-it notes unfiled and ignored? Is it cluttered? Are there things needing put away? Do you have a lot to open and file? Is there mail stacked up unopened? Are there a ton of small actions there that you need to take? Every little thing left undone in your physical space are mini obligations that drain you of precious creative energy. When you're sitting at your desk and you're sitting here and you're looking out in the room, what do you see? What do you look out at? Is there cluttered bookshelves, stuffed drawers, stacked in messy supplies? Are you hoarding supplies and not getting rid of things that you might use one day? And if that's the case, it's time to purge. Also look at your digital environment, delete your texts, delete your voicemails, clean out your email, unsubscribe to newsletters that aren't feeling good. So unless you're really listening to broadcasts and they're making you feel really good, go ahead and unsubscribe. I was subscribed to a woman who I love, this businesswoman that I love. She was fast talking, she was number crunching, she was obviously very successful in her own business. And I really liked her and I liked her personality, but her emails always left me feeling anxious that I wasn't doing enough. So if the emails are good, but they leave you feeling bad, that's not a good email to be subscribed to. And then I'm going to suggest you put the Cone-Marie method to the test, and that's one of the resources that I'm going to be referring you to today. It's a popular tidying technique, And it has you remove everything from your physical space and mindfully return the things that matter. So KonMari is different in that you don't go through a space and pick out one thing at a time and decide that's what you're going to donate. You literally have to clear shelves and then have that all in a pile and handle each object and say, do I really want to put this back? And it's a great technique for having space and physical things that matter around you. So while you're doing that, you want to ask yourself, does this represent the successful, financially wealthy person I want to become? And you want to ask that with each physical item as you take stock of the things around you. And whatever's left, donate, remove, or trash it. If it doesn't speak to the person you want to become and rather speaks to the person you were, get rid of it. Step number 2 is to raise your standards. And this I put in here because when the Health Alliance Plan, who has 500,000 members, asked women, what is the single biggest challenge that's holding you back from living your perfect life? The majority of those women said money. So unfortunately, if you tell a woman that she can substantially increase her income, she'll get excited about the possibility at first, but not enough to open her mind, to step outside of her comfort zone, and to actually go out and create real change. So I'm going to ask you right here and right now, it's a very important step, to raise your standards about what you want to earn, how much you think you deserve as a salary, how much you're willing to learn and improve in order to achieve it, and how far out of your comfort zone you're willing to go. We will do this incrementally, and if you're drowning in debt, I encourage you to check out Dave Ramsey's 7 Baby Steps for Financial Recovery, so you'll know exactly what to work on next. It's critical because you cannot achieve greatness if you're struggling to make ends meet. You must become a good steward of your money and learn how to treat it with respect. So again, step 2 is to raise your standards, get your financial house in order in preparation to enter a whole new playing field. On to step number 3. And step number 3 is drop the have-tos and embrace the must-dos. So this step is important, and I've been talking about it for the last few months on my blog, but it's especially important to create financial success because it allows you and enables you to protect your creative space. It helps eliminate the have-tos, and we all know what those are. I have to blog, I have to post on Instagram, I have to pin 18 pins today. I have to. We have a million have-tos looming on our to-do list. I urge you to instead brainstorm your must-dos, those dreams on your heart, those true callings, your purpose, whatever you want to call it. They're the must-dos that are waiting to be born. I'll share some of mine. I must travel. In traveling, I'll get to see more, I'll get to experience more, and I'll get to connect with more people. I must write articles that express how I truly feel about powerful women doing business. I have nothing but love and admiration for women who are out there getting it done and making tons of money, creating a lot of success, and helping millions of people at the same time. I must build a course that shows people how to become an industry influencer, thereby attracting new business like a giant success beacon. Before you can honor your must-dos, you have to be okay with ditching the have-tos. You have to be okay with ditching them. Have-tos have to wait. Whenever possible, free your commitments so you can better commit to yourself. When you eliminate the have-tos, it creates space for the more sacred must-dos. But it's just like debt and financial recovery, financial wealth. You can't be drowning in debt and create this glorious financial wealth and abundance. You cannot be drowning in have-tos and get those must-dos and live your life and enhance your business and do more every day of what you're called to do if you're drowning in those have-tos. Step number 4 is to take stock of your beliefs. What do you think you're able and deserve to earn? I'm going to give you a quote. If you are playing small, making everyone else more important, and selling yourself for far less than you are worth, then you will have no power of manifestation in this world. And that is from the book Claim Your Power by Mastin Kipp, another resource that I'm going to give you. Manifest means to demonstrate. And so I'm New Agey. I don't expect you to be New Agey. I'm considered woo-woo. I bring it out in small doses. I'm very gentle about introducing it. But I want to tell you, manifestation kind of has that, New Age type of vibe to it. And it goes with the law of attraction, a lot of beautiful things. They're beautiful to me. But for anybody who has different ideas, manifest simply means to demonstrate. That's the definition of manifest. And it means to bring something into physical reality through your own actions, beliefs, and ideas. So every time you create something out of nothing, which you do all the time, every time you bring an idea to fruition, which you do all the time, you manifest your dreams, you manifest your ideas, you make things come true. So manifest means to demonstrate and create a reality. The question is, what are you demonstrating and creating each day? It's easy to freak out about money. I have to say that again because it's so easy to freak out about money. Every summer I get panicked, the business slows, the internet is not that active anymore, and I lose my way. From Claim Your Power, the book I just mentioned, anytime you think your problems are big and you are small, you're playing the role of disempowered victim. And boy, do we play disempowered victims when it comes to money. Recently, a woman wrote to me, emailed me, that financial success and the way that I demonstrate it and discuss it on my blog and my books simply was impossible for her. And she shared a story of her circumstance and daily obstacles to go with it. I gave this letter much consideration. In fact, it's still sitting in my inbox. And I give it consideration as I do with all constructive criticism. She was basically telling me my methods don't work for her. And I wondered, should I address this to people who feel stuck, cemented in their current financial circumstances? And this, my Money Mindset Profit Breakthrough course, was the best way I knew how to address people who are feeling that way. The woman who wrote me was essentially saying that creating financial abundance was easy for me, but impossible for her. Okay, so that's her ideas, that's her belief. Now, how in the world can money show up for a person who's already decided that they don't, can't, and won't have it? I'm going to ask you that again, it's so important. How in the world can money show up for a person who's already decided that they don't, can't, and won't have it? I understand her situation and I truly feel for her. She wants better, I know it, and she simply decided on her own that she can't have it. She makes several choices a day that guarantee she keeps scarcity and lack her reality. In order for any of this to work, you must be open to possibility. Money is everywhere. They print more every day. And that means it's available to you in leaps and bounds. And earning it doesn't have to be so hard. At the end of the session, I'm going to leave a few of my favorite resources in the comments. So I've already mentioned Cone Marie, Claim Your Power, and there's one more that I have ready for you. Number 5, step 5 is play bigger, spend smarter. So you have to demonstrate bigger thinking. You must take calculated risks without fear. And life can't open up to you. Possibilities and opportunities can't open up to you while you play small, doing all the same things. I also use the same step for time because one of the points that I drive home in Profit Breakthrough is to value your time. How much you value your time is directly correlated to how much value accumulates in your bank account. So play big, spend smarter, apply that step to time. Stop doing tasks that can easily be outsourced. Stop bending over backwards and over communicating with high maintenance customers who probably aren't even adding much to your profit margin, but draining the most energy from your day. Stop checking your inbox incessantly. And you don't have to read every single comment and caption on Instagram. Just enjoy the ones that you catch when you happen to log in infrequently. The high rollers in your industry, the top dogs in your industry invest their money and their time wisely, and you have to act like one of the best before you can become it. Put it this way, you have to play like a major leaguer while you're still in the minor leagues. There's no other path to the major leagues than already playing as though you're good enough to make the team. Life opens up when you play a bigger game, when you accept that you have the potential to achieve everything it is you admire. And the last thing I want to give you on this tip is an exercise. There's a common exercise, I'm sure we've all done it, where you list the people that you admire, whether it be role models that you've never met before. An example of mine would be Tony Robbins, or there's people that in your life that you look up to and you really look at them and admire their greatest traits. And there's often exercises that say, list what it is you love about all the people that you admire, and when you put that together, you get what you're craving. But to go out and claim your full potential and really make the most of this step, you have to realize that all of those greatest traits that you're admiring are already within you, waiting to be practiced and awakened as true to you. So to play bigger, you must accept that those qualities are already yours and step into that role. And you can do it right now. You can do it today. It's not a thing that you have to gradually learn and accept. Take those qualities that you admire and practice them today. Step number 6 is to test drive new ways of doing things. And I love this one. I believe that it works with all my heart. Years ago, I rented a Toyota Sienna. Actually, I just rented a van because I was moving and I was getting there without my car yet. And so I rented a minivan for me and all my kids. I have 4 children. And they said, well, do you want to upgrade to the luxury model? Which luxury there was a Toyota Sienna. And it was something like $14 a day. And we were going to really be traveling in this car. So I said, yeah, I'll go for that. And so they gave me this Toyota Sienna. It was brand new. I'd never had a brand new car before. And I got in this car, it was like a ship, and it never felt like a minivan. And my kids got in the car, and we were like, we have so much space, and it just felt so expansive. And everybody was comfortable. We had captain's chairs everywhere. The 4 seats in the van were captain's chairs. And then if I wanted to buy furniture while I was out, the trunk in this car is so huge. You can literally like put console tables in the back of the trunk. I loved it. Never had a new car before. But something about renting that car that day made me go home and think, I'm going to have that car. I'm going to have a brand new Toyota Sienna. That was an experience. And sure enough, within the next year, never have I purchased a new car before, but I went out of my comfort zone. I don't even like car loans. I went out of my comfort zone. I went and got a brand new Toyota Sienna. It's still with me. I love it. I adore it to this day. And every time I step into it, I feel rich. And that all came to life from test driving that car. And so the step 6 is about test driving new ways of doing things. And that's one I have where it's already come true. But I consider buying the Toyota Sienna my first profit breakthrough. With that decision, which I bought that car for myself, based on my income. And so with that decision, I went from hobbyist who makes extra spending cash to a professional who pays herself a salary and pays for her brand new car. So when you make this step, when you test drive anything that you want in your life, if you're not a little, and sometimes a lot, scared, you're not doing it right. The point is to push yourself a little bit further. So just bring awareness to those fears if they come up for you and that scared feeling, and realize that something good has come up when you do feel scared. You've unearthed a major block that's been holding you back. For me with the Toyota Sienna, it was taking responsibility for a monthly bill. I just was never brave enough to do that until I bought the Sienna. And so that fear came up in me and I said, why not? You know, I've been spending money from this business for years. Why not commit to it and trust it to keep coming in? So I trusted it to provide, and it worked out. I have another example. It's very recent, and I love using it because I want you to know that this never ends. It doesn't matter what income level you reach. It doesn't matter how many profit breakthroughs you have. These things still exist. So the other day, I came to the airport with boarding passes. I came to get the boarding passes for the first class flight I've ever booked for myself. And I booked also a ticket for my husband. And we were going on a business trip. And I had to force myself to take every step as soon as I got to the airport in order to pick up that ticket. I was so scared of doing something wrong. I was so scared of looking like I didn't belong on the first class side of the line. Like I was so scared of looking like you belong over there in that 18 million economy person waiting line. I was so scared about it that I forced myself through the steps. And I came up on this premier access gate and I said, I want to get my boarding passes. I told this lady attendant, and she said, for first class, you just go around the corner to the left. And so I had to repeat to her, because she was my safety net now. I had to repeat it back to her and say, I can go there for first class. And she said, yes. Okay. I said, okay, then I'm in the right place. But literally went to get my boarding passes, hands shaking, heart pounding. And I forced myself through every step of the process. And as we were walking away, I made sure to tell my husband about it. And he has some of the same stuff. We grew up in kind of the same area and he could relate. And I was glad I shared with him. It was probably the best thing I did that day, because for the rest of the weekend, he invited me to keep testing those beliefs by walking into stores that completely intimidate me. And we were headed to Vegas, and if you've never been there, there's expensive stores every which way. And I don't know why they intimidate me. I haven't figured that out yet. But I just come in feeling like I don't belong there. I don't like the extremely personalized sales attention that you get when you walk in. I'd kind of rather go unnoticed. I'd feel a lot more comfortable if I could just like go in, absorb and observe what was going on. And everybody's usually right in your face when you walk in those stores. And I never feel like I give the correct response to their answers. I always feel like uppity salespeople are so confused by me and everything that comes out of my mouth when I walk in. But all that said, we walked into a Cartier store and I tried on an $8,000, my husband's pushing, which one is it that you want? So I tried on an $8,000 love bracelet that I wanted to gift myself after I make my first $1 million. The year I make my first $1 million, I'm gonna buy myself a Cartier love bracelet because it's absolutely extra and unnecessary. And after I tried it on, we told the cashier, not today, thank you, but not today. And now I know what size to order when I do reach that goal. And I even know what it looks and feels like on my wrist, which is surely going to help me attain all of it. So I test drove that reward. And one thing that I love to do when talking about rich life and upgrades, one of my favorite things to ask people is, what's a rich car to you? So this is different for everyone. Some people might want to buy a brand new Ford, while others would feel so rich if they had a brand new VW Bug. And some people are going to say Lamborghini. Mine is and always has been a Mercedes-Benz. So you can insert my favorite Janis Joplin song right there. When I was growing up, my best friend drove her mother's Mercedes-Benz, and I thought it was the nicest car I'd ever seen. I imagined sitting down at the wheel of my own Mercedes-Benz with its emblem on it, and when I do, I feel like I'll know I've made it in the industry and and being rich. So my next step, and the one that scares me the most, is to go test drive a Mercedes-Benz. And while it scares me a lot and intimidates me even more than that, it's still something that I have to do. It's not, luxury cars are not a need that I deeply value. I know I would only buy that car as an extreme luxury. It's extra, and that makes it extravagant. So my next step is to go test drive that and welcome extra and extravagant into my life. So I invite you to go do the same and test drive your reward. Step 7 is to simplify, strengthen, and repeat. So each time you up level, you'll be tempted to over deliver. So that means every time you double your salary or reach an income goal, you'll start to feel like, okay, then I must do more. I have to over deliver. You'll fill your plate too full. You'll give more than is necessary of your time and energy, and you'll overcompensate. And this is nobody's fault but your own, and it's completely normal. It's the mindset to beat. So as I mentioned earlier, this is not about doing more to earn more. This step is an act of pruning. You prune the tree so that its energy isn't spread too thin, thereby reducing the amount of fruit it can bear, so those fruits will be that much more fruitful. From Claim Your Power by Mastin Kipp. Making empowered choices when money is involved can be especially scary because we link our survival to our job and career. And so when you prune and when you trim back all these things that you're doing, all those have-tos, it's going to feel scary, and that's okay. It's a sign you're moving in the right direction. And the more must-dos you do, the better off you'll fare. So thank you for tuning in.